Hi everyone, this is Caitlin Bridge, otherwise known as Bridge Bits, and this week we're going to be talking about CORS, which stands for Cross-Origin Resource Sharing. So for some quick context on why this is necessary and why CORS is a thing, I want to give you some context. So essentially, when you visit any web pages are constantly making requests to load images, GIFs, videos, fonts, anything like that. So you can see that if this is an example web document, there's images that are being stored on different web servers all across the internet. And in order for them to be loaded, you need to send the web page sends requests to access these images. So if these requests aren't regulated for safety and malicious content, the security of your browser can be put in a lot of danger, which is obviously not good. So these aforementioned web pages, apps, images, fonts, etc., are all hosted on servers. And when you click on a web browser, you're trying to access a website that is hosted on a server. So websites typically have to request hosted resources from servers located in a bunch of different places on the internet. So these would be located in a different place on the internet than this web document is stored. So with all of this in mind, it's really important for us to have security policies in place on servers so that we can control potential risks that could be incurred by all of this cross-server requesting that's happening. So to get into the more specifics of what exactly CORS is and what it does, a cross-origin request is when a resource outside of the origin is requested. So what CORS does is that using additional HTTP headers, it instructs browsers to give a web application at one origin access to specific resources at another origin. Information is considered from a different origin when it has a domain, protocol, or port that is different than the original server. Thus, through this process, you get cross-origin information. So with this in mind, it's also helpful to know what online activities are triggering CORS. When your website requests information from other domains or parts of the internet, it can either get accepted or denied. If it's denied, you might see an error message if you go to your console like this, which says access to fetch at this location from origin. This location has been blocked by a CORS policy, which obviously isn't good. So what's triggering CORS is the big question. So generally speaking, the system is put into action when you're making an HTTP request to do any of the following: to a different domain, a different subdomain, a different port, different hosts as well, or a different protocol. So going back to CORS as a general entity and why it's important. So CORS is extremely important, but it's not just important for web developers, but it's really important for anyone who's using the internet and has information on the internet. It's important to have some information about what's actually going on and if your information is protected. So CORS helps mitigate the usual security concerns that are evident with cross-origin requests and transfers. And by the HTTP header that we described before, that describes what origins are permitted, which serves to lessen concerns that you'll be accessing information that's from unreliable or malicious sources, which obviously we don't want. But the good thing about CORS is not only does the standard allow servers to pick who accesses the information, but it also can manage how they access the information, which is really, really important for the security of information. So as you can see through this explanation of what CORS is, some context, why it's important, this is a system that serves to ultimately protect your secure information and promotes internet safety. So that's all for this week. I hope you learned a lot. As always, I'm Bridgebits on YouTube, Twitter, and GitHub, and I'll see you